Welcome or welcome back to the Light Renegades. My name is Star. Thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. Ooh, so we have a new being stepping forward today, everyone. A new being for all of you. I don't think I've mentioned it on this channel, but I've definitely mentioned it over on Instagram. This being has been in my orbit, in my frequency for an incredibly long time. I went to a charity shop one day in my very early 20s and I found a picture of them in a very beautiful bamboo picture frame, and it had the smallest picture of them, a really beautiful picture of them, very close up just to their face and smiling. And I found myself at that time wanting to know exactly where the picture had been taken, and it was on vacation. They were on a beach somewhere, and there was something about this image that really struck a chord in my heartstrings. And I remember feeling like I knew exactly what this being felt. I remember feeling like I knew where this being had been in their life. And I remember feeling just such an affinity to their energy. And I know that so many here in the collective are probably going to feel the exact same way as I do, because we've all been in each other's orbit, because we've all decided to be here at this present given time, helping each other in these spaces, understanding each other's frequency and sharing that which we have to share between one another. And I want to say that I didn't know that this being was going to step forward for the collective. I've been communing with them behind the scenes for some time, a fractal of their energy, might I add. And I have learned a lot from them. I've learned a lot through them. I've learned a lot through looking at life through their perspective, and also the ways in which they couldn't help themselves out of certain situations. And I think that we can all learn a lot from them, and specifically now. And unfortunately, I want to say specifically some divine feminines out there. Now, this is going to be a incredibly triggering warning. Well, it's a warning for some, okay? It's going to be very triggering channeling for some, and I don't mean it to be. And I think if you are in the wrong headspace, this is not going to land in the ways that it's supposed to, because there are some things that Marilyn has shared that could be taken the wrong way. So I want to tell everyone, please don't go to extremes with what is being shared, because it's not supposed to be seen through that perspective. They have a lot of information that, I think that if we all just look with a critical eye, we can know exactly what was going on in their life and why. And I want to say that the more that you know about their case and what happened to their body after they had passed, or seemingly at the time then once they had passed, I think that everything starts to become very clear, at least from our perspective over here and the Light Renegades lens. So, I want to say, go back again, look back again at moments and times in history and people's lives that have been incredibly famous, because there is a lot that they have been trying to show us, trying to share with us. And I've been incredibly grateful to be in the position that I am, to know the things that I know, and see it through this perspective. And I know that it splits a crowd. I know that not everyone that does witness understands, but I want to say you're receiving the vibration regardless, and it's helping you somewhere. If you continue to keep showing up, it's for a divine reason, a divine purpose. This soul is incredibly melting, is what I want to say. They are melting, they are warm, they are the epitome of softness, of gentleness, yet strength. And I think one of the main takeaways that I've taken from this soul's frequency is that they just knew how to hold a space. They knew how to command energy of others, from others. And, I think that there was a lot that has been gifted to us through their perspective, through their understanding, also in very divine and subtle and not so subtle ways, now that I can see the full trajectory of their life path and where they find themselves now, and what mark that they did leave on us here. So it's been a interesting few days with this soul's energy. It's been an interesting time looking at everything again through a different perspective, and I think many in the collective are also doing this. So I'm going to hop right in, everyone. I'm going to read a channeled message from Marilyn Monroe. I keep wanting to say Marilyn Manson, but there is a purpose to that. I will get to that eventually. And I want to say, do come at this with a mind that is taking everything for just as I'm speaking it, but also looking between the lines also. But trigger warning on this one, and please just have I want to say, be mindful of whom's around you and why. And perhaps there are some that are stepping towards you for help in ways that you haven't seen, through a lens that you haven't understood, is what I want to share. And I'm starting to see now more than ever that, I've been a beacon to help others get themselves out of tricky situations. I've been a beacon to help others really stand in their own inherent power. And I've been a beacon to help others truly take hold of their own life and their own trajectory of their life. And this is definitely something that Marilyn wishes to share with us all. So I'm going to hop right in, everyone. There is no title for this channeling apart from I just wrote Marilyn Monroe. And they started with, "Hello, it is your everything, it is your beautiful. I want to say that which you were sold through me, of me, the product, that light lives within each of you. I knew my life meant so much more than I could perceive. I knew that one day I would be a huge star. I could never have guessed and never have anticipated exactly how it would all come to be. Firstly, the rumors you heard were all true. I knew too much, I saw too much, but not in the ways that it is shown to the mainstream. You all here will understand exactly what I speak of. The world that is shown, once you come into the orbit of those so-called powerful human beings, it all becomes very strange. You start to notice very strange things happening. The world which you once knew dissolves, and you become a part of something else entirely. I knew that what I had learnt in bed with some of the most powerful would be, I knew that what I had learnt in bed with some of the most powerful would be of great use to all someday. It's not hard to put a timeline on all expressions of my life, who was around me, where, when, why. It all makes sense, and it is easy as 1, 2, 3. I didn't wish to speak ill of anyone today. However, I think it important to note that the themes in my life are still playing out, still being recited for all to witness. Become a star and the world is yours. You all know here just how starkly unrealistic that notion is, and especially now. I wanted you all to know that women possess a power that man could never understand, so be wary of a masculine and highly feminine energy. They know the power of seduction, and it is one of the most powerful tools of persuasion indeed. I would know this isn't a confession. I loved who I loved. I enjoyed the company of many. I enjoyed knowing. I enjoyed understanding it all from behind the scenes. I had a brain. That's what they wouldn't show you on the big screen. And I wanted to make a difference. I just never thought that it would all come to an end in the ways that it did. I want to speak about so much that is now finally coming to pass, coming into the spectrum of color for all to see. Seeing names and lights, are we yet? I wanted to come back now to let you all know that the imbalance is real. The masculine and feminine have been at war for a very long time. This is not by our own agenda, of course, so be mindful. Look around, whom you have in your life and for what reason. There are master manipulators at play on the world stages, yet the cracks are now beginning to show, finally, and so many are waking up to the possibility that nothing is or was as it seems at all. I knew of everything, the UFOs, the plans for the wars, how it all came to be. Men in power want a shoulder to cry on. That is not something to shame. I did consider it a privilege to be there, yet at the same time it became my biggest burden. I had to become the sacrifice at some point, of course. Once and for all. I didn't intend on controlling the narrative, but once I learned enough, I couldn't keep my mouth shut any longer, and I'm not upset that I didn't. I don't regret my life. The role that I played was integral, looking at it all now from this perspective. I needed to be exactly where I was at any given time. I decided my role somewhere too, it seems. My heart was big, but my biggest downfall... my heart was big, that was my biggest downfall. I just wanted to share the love that I had inside me, yet so many just wanted to take control. I was of power, yet at the same time pigeonholed as nothing more but beauty. Behind the scenes, everyone else knew. Everyone knew of my power, so they pretended not to see it. Oh, how I look back now sad for myself. I was blinded by so many through the ways in which they treated me. I could go on forever about it all, but I wanted to pop in now for those that need it. A reminder that you hold the keys to your power, divine feminines. Please know your worth. Have a strategy if you need it, an escape plan should you need it. I know that this may seem extreme, but it's not. You can never guess the ways in which the winds will turn at times, believe me. Everything can turn upside down in an instant, so have your plans in order so that you can escape. I don't want to leave on a somber note, so please remember to love big, to love with integrity. It was my integrity that got doors to open in spaces that others could only dream of. I knew my beauty, I knew it was a weapon, and I'm glad that it is now a gift that I've left with so many in this world. Not to harm, but to protect. Don't fear your power or your beauty, my divine feminines. It is there for a purpose, otherwise it wouldn't be yours to begin with. Be you, don't be anyone else or anything else. But remember to have heart. It is truly to have heart, but remember to have heart. It is truly to have it all. Anything less is a mirage, But remember to have heart is truly to have it all. Anything less is a mirage, a fallacy, an untruth. I may be back with more. Let's see how this one lands. I love you. Yours, Marilyn. And it's difficult, everyone, to bring the soul forward and in the true vibration that they deserve, because there is always a lot that steps in and behind me trying to not get this information out. And I'm really trying to just show up in my rawest capacity and my understandings, and in this process of just allowing for everyone to see, what is truly out there in this world and why it is there. And I want to say that there is a reason for everything. There is a reason for so many paradigms that exist in this world, and with very divine purpose. And I want to say that we have come to times where we have split into two camps. It's those that can see and those that can't, at least for exactly right now. And I feel like Marilyn's expression of this idea of the power of the divine feminine is something that has been coming to the forefront of expression for some time, and it very much ties into the Mintakan messages that I gave a few months ago, if not a couple of years ago, perhaps only last year. I'd have to go back and check. And this idea of that the masculine and feminine have been playing very specific roles for humanity. And I want to say that we are now shifting into a different perspective. And I want to say this idea of the feminine rising, is out of balance. I want to say it's the feminine that has been here to protect. It has been the feminine that is here to now remember their true inherent power, and the power that is within intuition, within wisdom, within the power of the womb, within the power to understand, how to maneuver through this world in a very different way. And it's interesting because the divine masculine and feminine energies live directly in with all of us. And it's important to understand your divine masculine, your divine feminine traits and understanding so that you can move through this life with a lot more ease. And it's interesting seeing through Marilyn's perspective and seeing through her eyes just exactly how she did play the paradigm of what was put in front of her. And she did it with such precision. She did it with such understanding. And I want to say stark understanding of exactly what was at play. And, she was a being that definitely struggled behind the scenes. There was substance abuse, all of that type of stuff. But at the core of her understanding, she knew how to play the game, and she played it well. And I want to say that this is something that we have been having to do over here on the Light Renegade space. This is something that I've been having to do the entirety of my life. I just wasn't in full awareness of it until a very certain point in my energy and my frequency. And I thought, I've been placed in very specific spaces in my life for very specific reasons. And I think when you all look back in your lives, you'll be able to see that reasoning too. And I want to say more now than ever, I'm starting to see the patterns, the cycles, the synchronicity, and the mass scale of what is happening out there in the world, and my macro understanding, but also that of others around me, and how we've all just been orbiting around together in the space of creating a new divine frequency, a new divine tapestry for all of us to be sinking into. And it feels like there is a massive dissolving happening, which is why souls are stepping forward now, wanting to anchor in their truth, because in us anchoring in an understanding here in the Light Renegade space, it has a profound effect in other timelines and other fractals of understanding and other fractals of expression. And I want to say that this is what so many in this collective have been doing for the longest time in your own personal expressions too. So please do look around and think about where you are, who you have around you, and for what reason, because there is always a divine play at hand. So be mindful and, only take what resonates. This is only going to be for some. You're going to understand exactly what I'm speaking of, and others, this is just going to go over your heads, or it's just not time, which is completely okay. But I want to say, if you feel like this channeling could be tips for you. This channeling could be something that is going to awaken something in you to think, oh gosh, yes, okay, I think I do need an escape plan. I do need an escape strategy. There is something that isn't right or in balance here right now in my life, and I need to sort this out. So be mindful of that. I want to say listen to this channeling again, and apologies everyone, it's always quite fragmented when I try and step forward with a new soul, but also specifically now the veil is just so thin, and as much as, you know, I'm protected in my spaces, there is still a lot that is able to sink into my energy at certain points, because the energy that I'm trying to give out is just so open for all. So you're going to have to bear with me with these channelings moving forward, everyone. I'm trying my best. But I want to say that the idea of being beautiful, the idea of being powerful, the idea of being, you know, a product here has been used against us. And now we're flipping back into the inherent understandings of what beauty means, you know, what beauty standards are, whatever that means in the world. And we're really stripping this back to come from a heart-centric space. So please do move with integrity in all of your spaces. And, you know, I'm starting to see where there has been traps laid out for many with regards to things being an illusion, a mirage, something of seduction in other spaces to keep people trapped in certain aspects of their life and certain aspects of their understanding. So seduction as an energy is very powerful, is what I want to share. So be aware of that too. And, you know, if you know you are a being of persuasion, make sure that you are using it for the highest good, because this too can also trap you in your spaces. So this is why it's so important to be of balance. This is why it's so important to have heart at the forefront of everything that you do, and also integrity. And I want to say that it is my truth that has kept me free. It is my truth that has kept me stable. It is my unwavering truth that has allowed for me to stand 2 feet, and specifically now in my journey, because my story hasn't changed. I know exactly why I'm here. I know what I know of this world, and, you know, it's either going to be of the vibration for others or it just simply isn't. And that's the energy that we need to be moving with from now on, everyone, is what is your truth, and standing by your truth, because it holds such weight here. It holds a true divine purpose. So please, please, please do not waver in your truth. It's okay to waver in your faith at times. You know, we are pressed, we are tested, but I'm so grateful that I've always just stood in my truth. And no one could shake me from that. So be mindful in your spaces, and specifically now, everyone, because there is a mass scramble out there for timelines, for people to be shifting their perspective, their narrative, because it serves others in a completely opposite perspective to us. And I feel like I'm having to speak in riddles, because there are some things that I just can't outrightly say at this moment in time. So just be mindful, but also be open to others helping you, is what I want to share. And this idea of a power of persuasion, you know, if you have to use that at times for your own personal expression somewhere, so that you are safe, I want to say do it, you know, with the highest integrity, with the highest light. But sometimes we have to not play by the rules that we once knew in order to be able to set ourselves free. And, you know, this idea of shape-shifting, this idea of wearing a mask at times, it is for safety, everyone, is what I want to share. So please be aware of that too. And the main understanding that Marilyn is bringing forward is this idea of the light does live within each of us, and they have such a strong light. And I feel like this has been everyone that I brought forward in the Light Renegade space. There has just been this bright light that could never go out in these beings, and, you know, seeing them through to the other side and understanding the vibration that they've held here, and just how powerful they've been, and how much their light still does shine through no matter what they've done this lifetime, no matter what end they come to at this lifetime. You know, I think is a true testament of soul, and the true testament of what a human being can do here. But there is a very galactic edge to all of this. And I think, you know, go back through Marilyn's story, go back through her timeline, because it is very obvious, at least to me. But there's some things that I just can't point out as, you know, point blank 1, 2, 3 anymore, everyone, because I'm having to be very careful. We've been having to be very careful over here on the Light Renegade space so that I could still share information. So I'm abiding by all rules that are being enforced behind the scenes right now. So yeah, I'm trying to be as mindful as possible. But I want to say perhaps Marilyn will return again with some understandings. I'm going to be keep sharing in the community tab some things that I've been partaking in and some understandings that I've been partaking in. But it's been really beautiful to be in Marilyn's energy and to be able to share and give this energy to you all in this way, because like I said, I've been in talks with them behind the scenes for some time. So I'm grateful that I could share, a little bit of my behind the scenes with you all. And they are just an incredible soul. And as always, if you want their support, if you want their help with anything, they are here to support you. So just call in their energy and their frequency, and they're more than happy to oblige in that space. And specifically, I want to say, if you are, either a divine feminine or a divine masculine out there and you need help and support in your spaces, please do not hesitate to reach out. If you feel trapped in some expression of your understanding, please do reach out. It's exactly why I'm here. But at any given time, you can call upon my teams of light if you're still not sure exactly what you believe in, because they will show up for you. You can call upon ether, upon earth, upon life, Gaia itself, as a divine feminine energy, God, whatever you wish to insert word here, source. You can call upon the galactic frequencies, the energies of all plants, of all animals, the water, the elements. Please do call it in, because everything is here to support us, and specifically now. So never ever ever think that you are alone in your spaces. And specifically, if you feel like your power has been taken away from you for whatever reason, know that you are the most powerful. And this is why others have tried to keep you trapped, or keep you locked away, or keep you in a space of feeling disempowered. And this idea of people showing up in a very specific way to try and manipulate Marilyn to not see her power is definitely something that I've been privy to this lifetime. I've experienced personally this lifetime, and it is a very strong tactic of those out there that are considered to be the opposition of us right now. So be aware of those people that are in your spaces that treat you like you have no power, because there might be much more behind them to behind the scenes than you are able to understand in this present given time, is what I want to share everyone. So please, please go easy, please go well. Please know that I'm here to support you. How to reach me is in the description below. You can contact me via email. I am over on Instagram as well, so please do follow over that way if you'd like more contact with me and more I want to say more stability in your spaces. I'm sharing a lot over there with regards to the mental capacities and how to wield your own personal expression in the highest vibration, and how to deal with these patterns and these cycles. And I want to say that Marilyn stepping forward is closing a massive cycle out with the imbalance of the divine feminine, divine masculine energies at an energetic level. So I was incredibly grateful for them stepping forward, and specifically today, I know that it holds such weight for the collective energy, and we have more of this to come, everyone. But that's all for myself today, and the fragment of that is Marilyn Monroe, everyone. What a beautiful soul, and I'm ever grateful for the stamp that she's left on this world in a very beautiful way, and especially for the divine feminine and that powerful energy that we do inherently hold, and that we can wield to our best benefit when it does serve us. So don't fear your power. Do not think that you're not living in alignment if you're wielding all your prowesses as a divine feminine, because it is through your discretion. If you are moving with integrity and heart, then you're not doing anything wrong. But that's all for myself and Marilyn today, everyone, and we'll be back when it feels in alignment. Take care.